Welcome to their multi-channel live stream. OG55. We got Tones Poppy. We also got Capture the Magic joining us in a little bit. We were talking all today about this Netflix Warner Brothers situation. The situationship is out of control. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We got Tones Poppy and Jared coming very soon. Up next here on OG55/Tones TV Live. Welcome aboard, everybody, to this multi-stream show. We're talking all about Netflix and WB. If you're watching on OG55, this is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tones Poppy. Welcome back, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, bro. I've had a very good couple weeks about content, and I've been having fun doing it once again. I'm back on YouTube again, so that's another fun part about doing content. You know, we were just on TikTok for strictly on TikTok, but now we're back on YouTube, and it's been a lot of fun these last couple weeks, bro. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy doing it. So I'm glad we could be back talking about this again, like we were our last live, because it's there's so much to deep dive into when it comes to this acquisition. Like, it's insane. So we definitely have to get the people's opinions on it too.
Yeah, no, this is so huge. This is industry changing. This whole situation. It's massive. But for those of you watching on OG55, Tones, if you could let everybody watching on OG55 where they could find you on social media, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in movies and TV show breakdowns, we do all that over on Tones_TV. You can go, you can find me on TikTok mostly is where I do most of my content first. Then we do long form content over on YouTube, Tones_TV, and we've been posting on Instagram a lot lately too. That's been going crazy, which I was not expecting to ever happen with that. So yeah, we do a lot of we've been doing a lot of Stranger Things stuff with Jay Shear as well. Shout out to Jay Shear. But anything Stranger Things, we got House of the Dragon coming up, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's gonna be a lot of fun over there. So Tones_TV on all platforms. And do me a favor and introduce yourself as well, because I got people on my side, and tell them what you do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Orange Grove 55. I do a lot of studio stuff, but mostly theme park stuff. So we kind of dabble in both. But you can find me on YouTube, Orange Grove 55. You can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55. And Tones and I, we pollinate back and forth a lot. So you'll see Tones on my channel a lot. I go on Tones' channel a lot. So make sure you're subscribed to both channels and hit that notification bell.
And shout out to Rachel and Vanessa, two loyal viewers, loyal friends, I should say. Awesome people.
Very awesome. Absolutely. What's up, Vanessa? What's up, Rachel? We also got Rudio in the house. What's going on, Rudio? And we got Lucas Kim in the house. We got Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. So, Tones, let's talk about this, man. Okay, so Netflix, streaming giant, the biggest streamer right out there right now. We have HBO Max, which I think is number 3, right? So Netflix wants to go in and buy Warner Brothers. Okay, that's a huge deal. I mean, Warner Brothers is a 100-plus-year-old studio, massive IP library. In my opinion, probably the best, only second to Disney. I mean, it's crazy good, right? And they want to go in there and buy they want to buy the IP, but they also want to acquire HBO Max, right? Now, this has caused all kinds of drama within Hollywood, even in the political realm.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Right? Trump is weighed on this. And we know Trump wants the Ellisons with Paramount, which is going to be a problem for Netflix because he's going to, I think, try to make his moves with his DOJ, with his Netflix deal to kind of push it towards his buddy, probably. So that's a whole nother challenge for Netflix. But what's your take on it so far? Like, where we stand, what's going on?
So, shout out to Jay Shear again. Yesterday we had a beautiful live talking all Stranger Things, and I had to ask his opinion on it, and he kind of pushed me over to why Paramount would be a better deal for everyone. Now, Netflix buying Warner Brothers is going to could potentially be the beginning of the end of going to the movie theaters and watching a movie. Netflix has already came out and told us that they don't plan on changing things. The only thing they do plan on changing is the length of movies in movie theaters. Can you remind me who the CEO of Netflix is? His name?
Ted Serranos, I believe. And
Ted Sarandos.
yeah, they have two CEOs. I only know Ted. I forgot the other guy's name. I do apologize to the other guy.
I believe it was him who said he thinks in his head that he knows the answer to movie theaters, and that was kind of strange to me because the way he worded it, or at least the way the quote was worded, was like, this is beneficial if we make movies only, I don't know, hour and a half, for example. I don't know if he said an hour and a half, but he wants to shorten it down, the movies. He wants to shorten it down, and I don't see that being an answer at all, to shorten the movies. I could see maybe making it a requirement for certain movies to be made, but as far as making length of a movie shorter, I don't see how that could benefit anyone. We want more storyline. We want descriptions of movies, characters in the movies. Like, that's very important to the way I look at film. And the fact that Netflix could potentially make movie theaters extinct is scary, because that, for one, that's jobs being lost. That will make a huge hit on movie making in general, because you're just going to be streaming on streaming services, which I don't know if they make the same amount of money as movie theaters would make if it went to like, say for instance, they made $1 billion in the movie theaters. I don't think it would do that kind of numbers in streaming services, does it?
Way. No, not even close. Not even close. There's no way. There's a reason why these studios have really shifted, right? Like Disney, for example. I mean, Moana 2 was a TV show initially, and they reworked it to be a sequel in the theaters, and that movie went on, I believe, to make $1 billion. But you're not making $1 billion on streaming. I mean, because you only pay like $10 a month, and it's like, and it's just not going to happen. Yeah. So, and I also heard him say that he wants to shorten the window, right? So how long these movies are in theaters. So, right now.
Okay, wait, real quick. I might have misread it then. That might have been the actual quote that he said. And unless he said it, because I read the word shorten, I thought he meant the shorten of the film in general, not
no,
the amount of time it's in the movie theater.
No, yeah, I believe he meant the time it's in the theater.
Oh, okay. Then I misread the quote. That's what it was then.
Yeah. So he wants to shorten down to like just maybe like a couple of weeks or whatever. So he can get it in theaters, make his money for like a couple of weekends, get out and put it back on Netflix. So, I mean, but to your point though, Tones, I hear you are hurting the theater industry by doing that though. You're still hurting the theater industry. And this is a guy who has come out before and said, the theatrical experience is antiquated. It's outdated.
Yeah.
He's not all in on this theatrical thing. Now, I think it would be smart for Netflix, if they were to buy Warner, to really lean into the Warner Brothers theatrical arm and do what Disney did with Moana.
Yeah.
Make your $1 billion in the theater, then come back and put it on your streamer with like exclusivity. And now you're double dipping. You're making money twice. Now you're making money on that streaming service, but you're also making that theatrical money. Exactly. I don't know why, right? It makes the most sense. I don't get why he seems like he's like not really. Weird.
And one thing that I want to mention is like experiences in the movies, watching these films. Like for me, when I watched Dune 2, it was, for one of the best sequels in my opinion ever made. But also I would not have want to see that movie like on my screen at home. It wouldn't have gave me that same feel. There's movies that need to be in the movie theaters, that you need to see in the movie theaters for the movie to be 100. Like maybe you see a movie and it's 90% good. That other 5-10% comes from that experience of the movie, the sound, the way you're looking at the cinematography in the movie. That counts big time, at least for me when I watch film. So hearing this, it just, why put it in for 2 weeks or a month and then take it out and then put it on? That's what's killing streaming right now, is putting movies that you have out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you put it directly on the streaming services. That is what's killing the streaming services, because what's killing the movie theaters, because they're like, oh no, I'm just gonna wait. It's gonna be out in a month anyway. I might as well just wait till it gets on the streaming services. That's what's killing the movie theaters right now. The fact that you're gonna put it in the movie theater for 2 weeks and then take it out, or whatever the timeline is, and take it out, it's just gonna make it extinct and quick, and that's very unfortunate.
Well, and here's the thing. I think a lot of people in Hollywood and a lot of fans in general are really concerned because, you know, they're saying, okay, we're still going to honor theatrical. We might shorten the windows, but we're still going to put them in the theaters and yada yada yada. But my concern with this whole thing is once they own that studio, what's stopping them in 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, once they have it, they have it. I mean, they can say whatever they want right now. You know. Now, here's the thing. To be fair to Netflix, Comcast, which is a broadband internet cable company, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went in a few years ago and they bought Universal. Now, I think they've done a great job with Universal. Really, really good job fostering all that IP. They bought DreamWorks and brought that IP into their fold. They've done a lot of great stuff with their theme parks and what have you. Really good stuff. Now, on paper, though, it would be like, well, a cable company? That's horrible. That's going to be a disaster. And they turned out really good. So it's possible Netflix might, hey, look, on paper, people think, oh, it might not work out. It's possible that they get in there and they absolutely crush it, you know? But it's just, I can see theatrical, though. If you're a big theatrical fan, I think it definitely raises some red flags. I mean, this is not, you know.
It's scary. It's really scary because you, by the way, what's up, Alyssa? What's up, everyone? I hope everyone's having a great day. Oh, yeah. Everyone in chat, thank you guys for the comments. What bothers me, though, it's the questioning of what happens after they buy it. Like, this shouldn't be a thing. Like, there should be some kind of maybe a law implemented with companies like this who own a good amount or a certain percentage of streaming services. Like, if Netflix owns 65% of all streaming revenue or whatever the case maybe is, I feel like they should have to put it in movie theaters to distribute that money or distribute that something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, I feel like if you're just exclusively putting movies on Netflix, you're taking away from what we know now are movie theaters going forward, because it's just, we can just see it from the comfort of our own home. And I think there should be some kind of law implemented where Netflix can't just take movies out of the theaters and put them straight to the or maybe they can only, after the a release of a movie, you need to only put that on. You have to wait a month or two before you're able to put it on your streaming platform for, a certain budget, maybe like, let's say 500 million, right? If you make a movie over $500 million, you are not allowed to put it on your streaming service unless you put it in theaters first. Like, I just feel like there should be some law implemented. But what's your opinion on that?
No. I mean, I think that they need. I think that in order to save theatrical, I think there needs to be some ground rules here, because if you have a 2-week window, say, like you were saying, there's no, like, I have no reason then to go to take my whole family to go see Zootopia and spend $100 in the theater if I know in 2 weeks that thing's going to be on Disney Plus and my kids can watch it on repeat at home.
Exactly.
Like, there's no incentive. And that's why after the pandemic, there was that big push with the theatrical windows to make sure they were long enough. And I feel now we're back to square one again because of this Netflix thing. And now they want to shorten them again. The reason why those windows are longer is because it ensures enough time for people. It incentivizes people to make sure they watch it in theaters. If the window's too short, people will just wait and save the money. You know. Now, John here says, hopefully Trump shuts it down. Now, here's the thing with that. I'm all about policing monopolies. Okay. And I do believe there's massive monopoly concerns here with Netflix in terms of the streaming services, right? So in terms of Netflix and HBO Max, you got the number 1 streamer and the number 3. I don't care whose DOJ it is. They need to regulate that, or they need to come in and look at that. Okay. I don't care if it's Trump's DOJ or if it was a Democrat's DOJ. It doesn't really matter. But that is a situation which definitely is going to cause some problems. My issue with Trump, okay, is that Trump is on the record saying he wants Ellison to take this. He wants Paramount to take WB. It seems like Trump has a dog in this fight.
I was just about
and that makes, you know what I'm saying? That makes me nervous. I don't want, yes, I want regulation, but I don't want him to put his finger on the scale because he's got a buddy he wants to please. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying?
Or even stock inside Paramount or whatever the case may, like if he has stock in it, being able to control who buys it, or I shouldn't say he has control, because he doesn't necessarily have control on who buys it, but the fact that he might have some kind of stock within it on who buy it, like that could potentially be another reason why he wants him to buy it. But I don't know how that shit works, to be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy. Friend of the channel, Rudio, what's going on, Rudio? Currently, WB has a contract with exhibitors that their movies need to have a current theatrical window that ends in 2029. Okay, so we're at least safe. Thank you, Rudio, for that. Appreciate you, brother. We're at least safe until 2029, which, I mean, honestly, though, this deal, this is going to be 12 to 18 months probably, this whole thing. And
well,
so
apparently the third quarter of next year is when they could start, I believe, dealing with all that, because something, I forgot what the third quarter represented, but something has to happen in the third quarter for them to be able to finish anything anyway. So
yeah, we got some time. This is going to go in probably for, this thing probably won't even get approved and finalized till 2028. Absolutely. So but then you only have a year until that contract runs out, and then here's Netflix now, right? And they can do their thing. So it's kind of crazy. Remy D here says, don't mind if Trump wants to scrutinize this deal, but if he's coming at this because his friends at Paramount, that's not right. That's where I'm at with it. 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is massive monopoly concerns here, right? With the two streaming services, it's not so much that Netflix. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of issues going on here, but for monopoly reasons, it's the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
You have the death of the theater business with the other stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I mean, it's looking like all these politicians and Hollywood and everyone's all hands on deck right now, Tones, and it's gonna be high drama.
I just don't want that to affect the movie industry, or how movies are made, or how movies are done, or it sucks that already that we have to sit here and worry about that. And the fact that this might be it, and Trump is putting his voice out on who should buy it, it's so weird. I don't like it, but what can we do?
Well, and here's the thing too, Tones. This is where it gets really sticky, right? Because Warner wants to spin off a lot of their cable stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comcast and Netflix, they don't want any of that stuff. They don't want the cable biz and networks and all that stuff, right? Paramount, though, Trump's friend, the Ellison, they do want CNN and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
It kind of makes sense though why Trump was like, all right, I mean, from his perspective, exactly. So it's kind of crazy, right? Okay, I got a super chat here. We're gonna go ahead, and this is from all the way from the UK, Mr. Matthew Murr. 10 euro. Thank you so much, Matthew. Appreciate you. I know this sounds especially outlandish, but I think people might resort to unsubscribing from virtually every streaming service and taking to physical media on a massive scale to force a pivot. They might, Matthew, but here's the thing. You think if Netflix buys WB, they're going to make physical media anymore?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I bet you're not going to find any Blu-rays with it if Netflix is buying WB, at least not for the WB stuff. So,
and what's actually like, okay, if you look, people don't look at YouTube as a platform where people can just post. I mean, how can I put this? Okay, for instance, we see Netflix, we see Paramount, we see all these streaming platforms where high production movies and TV shows come out. People don't look at Netflix like that, or YouTube rather. People don't look at YouTube like that. People just look at people just throw any kind of videos out there and do whatever. I think if people made high production movies and TV shows and put it out on YouTube for free, maybe making your money back may not be the easiest thing, but it also will make streaming services a lot, or it would make them concerned if more people did that, made high production movies and TV shows and put them on YouTube where it was free to put on there, and you also make money on there for views or whatever the case may be. But that would make streaming platforms really fucking concerned if they were to ever do that. And I think that's something that some of these companies might want to look into more, because it could if they find out that Netflix, maybe not Netflix because they're freaking huge, but a smaller Tubi or whatever, a smaller platform where people could just put that might tank, or those that might not exist anymore if YouTube were to do that more often with high production movies. You get what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
no, well said, well said. And actually, it's interesting you mentioned YouTube. I was actually gonna bring this up. I'm glad you brought up because that's actually the angle that Netflix is going to be using to skirt around the monopoly issue. Rumor has it that they're going to make the case that YouTube is essentially a streaming service. And so there's no monopoly because you have this massive YouTube elephant in the room. So
Mm.
they're just competing with YouTube and giant Google. So when you phrase it like that, it seems like, oh, there's a lot of competition, right? It's a smart angle. You think it's
Yeah.
going to work though, in terms of regulatory stuff? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a stretch, or you feel like there's something to
I
that?
don't. It shouldn't work because I don't pay for YouTube. I mean, they have a streaming service, or they have a paid service rather, but you don't need to pay for most of most of the things on YouTube besides YouTube TV. You don't need to pay for anything.
Right.
Netflix, you can't just go on there and they have a free thing that you could check out. So I don't know if they can I mean, I don't know legally, but I don't know if they would have a good argument there because nothing's free on Netflix like YouTube is. You can't just post something on Netflix if I wanted to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I don't know if they
No,
can. Would they be able to go that angle? Is that a thing?
that's what they're gonna try to do. They're gonna try to make it because
Really?
if they go the traditional route and they go and make the case that it's Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, it's not gonna get approved because they're gonna have number 1 and number 3 on that streaming service
Yeah.
ranking, right? And that's I think, Dan Murrell, he's a great content creator, but he was saying it's like 30% of the market share if they were to have HBO Max and Netflix. I mean, that's a huge chunk of the
Oh
market
yeah.
share. But if you add YouTube into that, it's no longer that high percentage because YouTube is massive, right?
Yeah.
But someone said in the I think it was John. I got to look back up, but someone said that YouTube is more social media, which
Yeah.
I would obviously agree. It's more like an Instagram, right? Kind
Exactly.
of.
Long form, long form. Even Instagram, you could post long form. TikTok, you can post long form. I posted I didn't. It never do it by the way because it doesn't do well. But you could post a podcast on TikTok now, and
Wow.
not yeah, like I said, don't do it because it doesn't fucking do anything. But technically, you can post it on there. So I, it's social media to me. I post videos. You can post um comments. You could post picture, like you could do all that stuff with on YouTube. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like it's more social media, 100%.
absolutely.
Lucas and Disney in the house. He says it's funny how people just want Universal to get some part of the license just so they can get something in the parks. Yes, I actually, Lucas, I will admit I am one of those people. I actually would love to see Universal just go crazy with this IP because Universal needs IP of their own. Universal. And here's the thing: this is one of the problems that Universal is going to come across because they license stuff out like a lot and they don't have a lot of their own in-house IP. They have some stuff. They got Jurassic Park and they got Fast and Furious and Minions, but by and large, they don't have the library that Warner Brothers has, that Disney has, right? So this is the issue when you license stuff out. What happens when someone comes in and buys the company that you're doing business with?
Mhm.
Is Universal going to get the same licensing deal under Netflix that they were under the old Warner Brothers? I mean, I don't know, but it's certainly a big question mark. I'm sure Brian Roberts is nervous about it. Netflix is kind of known to be kind of a ruthless company. Like they're pretty aggressive. They're going to play hardball with Comcast and those rights. Now there are rumors that Universal is working on getting the DC theme park rights, and they are trying to negotiate some stuff with Warner right now and Netflix. Which would be smart for Netflix to do that because it seems like everyone in Hollywood hates them right now. So if you can make a deal with Universal and Comcast with those theme park rights, secure that deal, you at least have Universal in your back pocket as like an ally in your fight against Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
So it's a way to kind of get at least one elephant off your back. You get Comcast off your back. They got their theme park rights. They're happy, and now all we have to do is contend with the other studios, But I don't know, Tones. I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough
And
one.
and like I said yesterday, or about yesterday, Jay really turned like yes, it would be cool to have these things in the parks. You know me, seeing anything Game of Thrones in a park would be, I would be there probably 4 or 5, 6 times a month, let alone fucking a year that I'm usually, it would be cool. But I think for the movie goers and the TV show watchers, I think Paramount would do it better. It would do it justice. How can I say this? It would do better for Paramount to buy them than the other two. Don't get me wrong. It would be a cool experience if if Comcast were to buy it and put those IPs in the parks. It would be dope. But I think because of the theatrical experience already, it declining over the last couple of years, I think they would focus more on the parks. I shouldn't say they would focus more on the parks, but it would be a focus in general. Other than Paramount, they wouldn't have to focus on that. They would focus more on putting movies out, putting TV shows out. Unless they have some kind of park anywhere that I don't know about, do they?
Paramount?
Yeah, are they?
Not that I'm aware either. But they do make attractions. Like I know there's like a SpongeBob attraction somewhere and like stuff like that. But they don't have anything like Disney and Universal.
Okay.
Nothing like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So that being said, like their focus would be more on the filmmaking rather than, Netflix would technically thinks that they know better and take it out of the movies in general, and then that's when Comcast has the idea of like focusing a lot on some on the park. What's up, Jared?
What's going on, guys?
Come on, Jared. How you doing?
Just hanging out, reading about Warner Brothers and everybody being against it, apparently.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we're just kind of talking about, Paramount and Tones was asking me Paramount's theme park presence. They don't have any parks, right? It's mostly just like standalone attractions. I think they have like a SpongeBob thing in Vegas, or
I think they have something in the Middle East, but outside of that, I think it's mostly licensing stuff with I know like SpongeBob is weird because it has Universal is in some of its parks, and then they have those weird malls that are up north that there's like a standalone SpongeBob ride in there, but they don't have like a big presence by any means.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that would be like the argument of why I would rather have Paramount. That, like I said, outside OG Jared, that Jay kind of swayed me over to the Paramount side of who I would want to buy it. Of course, we know Netflix would essentially, they say they'll leave it in the movie theaters, but we don't know that for sure. Comcast would focus on movies and theme parks. I think if Paramount got it, they would focus more on just the film side of it, the movie and the TV shows, instead of focusing on other things. You know what I'm saying? So Jay kind of swaying me over to that, but it's still kind of confusing with everyone, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I actually agree. I think for strictly entertainment, I'm intrigued by Paramount, considering all the stuff the Elsons say they want to do. It seems interesting to me. Netflix, I think it was Ted Sarandos said today that if I saw this on X like 10 minutes ago, that like they would have put Oppenheimer and Barbie on streaming and said it's the same experience. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, they just simply think everything is content for the streaming service. And this is why I would be worried if I was a movie theater chain. Because if Netflix gets a hold of this, I mean, they may make some sort of agreement of, for a period of time, we'll do theater releases, but I don't think they would stick to it. Because they just want everything on streaming. And so they're just they're huge, but they have the most question marks about exactly what they would do with Warner Brothers.
Well, here's the thing. I'm admittedly not a huge theater going guy. I haven't been to the theater I think Alien Romulus was the last movie I saw.
Yeah, when you have kids too, you don't get to the theater too much. Yeah, we go here and there as the kids have gotten older, but I'm the same way. We don't go a ton.
Yeah, and but I understand that there is a huge theater going fan base, right? And just because I'm not into it doesn't mean I'm going to be like, well, I don't like it, therefore we shouldn't have it. Like I'm not. I think that there is a market for that, and I think that a lot of people still enjoy that experience. And I think that I want to see it stick around.
Yeah.
And to say Barbie's one thing. Oppenheimer, have they seen that movie? Do you know how dope that movie was in theaters? I saw it in theaters, and I never see movies in theaters.
That thing was like almost made for IMAX. Like, and that's the thing about Nolan. I mean, some movies it is a completely different experience. I will say I don't really care about the Avatar movies, but it is cool to see on IMAX. Like you can tell it was made to see on that big of a screen. And I mean, like that's one reason theaters are struggling is the TV experience at home has gotten a lot better, undoubtedly. I mean, you can go get a 65-inch TV that's crystal clear for less than $400, but that's the thing too about Hollywood going forward is like I really do wonder whether or not this goes through as it is or not. I just wonder about the theater experience in like 10 years. Like, what is it actually going to be? I almost feel like it's going to be an event thing and not as much as just regular occurrence of you just going to the movies like every week.
Okay, well, two things for you, Jared. I asked a question to OG. What do you think if Netflix were to buy this and they say now, like, hey, we're gonna leave movies in theaters, but 5 years down the line, they're like, fuck that, I'm good. I don't want to put them in theaters no more. We're putting everything on the streaming platform. Do you think there should be some kind of law implemented that they have to maybe budget wise, where if you spend this much money on a budget, it has to be in the movie theater, or you have to leave these type of movies in the movie theater for at least 2 months before you can put it on the streaming platform? Like, do you think there should be some kind of law implemented with that kind of mindset of like, okay, fuck it, we're just going to take it off and put it on a streaming platform?
Yeah, I'm one where I I mean, in an ideal scenario, the free market decides. And if the free market decides that movie theaters are no longer a thing, then, that's just kind of the way it is. Anytime you do like laws on this stuff, there's always unintended consequences of it. But in the spirit of it, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know if you need a law about it, but I wouldn't be against if Netflix were to get it, that they are required as part of the agreement to say you have to stick to these theatrical runs for at least a period of time. Just because as well, like if theaters go away, I mean, that I would imagine that's going to be a hit on the economy. So that wouldn't be a good thing. So I do wonder how much, like I think during COVID, the theaters did get some sort of a bailout too. So the government does have a vested interest somewhat in theaters. So it's not beyond the realm that they could do it. That's interesting. I don't know. I had to think about that one. I like the spirit of it. I just don't know about a law on the books, just because I just feel like there would be like 5 or 6 different things come out of that where you'd be like, oh crap.
Or maybe like awards, like certain awards you can't, like, won't qualify for
like
this kind of movie.
That would be one way. I would say, you have incentives in place, like you can't get an award if you don't have a theatrical run, sort of thing. I think that could give them even though Netflix seemingly acts like they don't care, I actually do feel like, and I think Seymour touched on this the other night, K-pop Demon Hunters may be kind of changing their minds about theater somewhat, because that was such a big success for them just in a short run. So they could, I suppose, look at Paramount as a way to have a theatrical arm that they would actually want. It's just hard to know with them. Like, they're just such an interesting, like I've said before, they're a tech company that makes movies and shows. Like, they're not a typical studio. So like the way that they go about business is so different from all the other studios that are out there right now.
No, 100%. And here's the thing too, and we talked about a lot here on OG55, and this whole theatrical thing is sort of like the linear stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's been having trouble for a while. It's a melting ice cube in a lot of ways, and it's like there's that whole dynamic where it's like Netflix is coming in and maybe they'll expedite the death of theatrical, but it's not like they're coming into a perfectly healthy theatrical industry. Like, this is
right.
It's on its back legs a little bit, and it has been for several years. And it's like, how long do we hold the dam back? Or is it, I mean, are we trying to push against the inevitable is what I'm trying to say here a little bit. I don't know.
Are you trying to hold onto the telegram when the phone got introduced, sort of situation? Like,
Exactly.
Well, it'd be one thing if there were banger movies coming out constantly, and there just really hasn't been. I mean, you have a few here and there. So I think Hollywood, if it's inevitable that theater experience at the very least drastically changes, I do feel like if these studios were making really good movies, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. I still think you'd have a fall off from theaters just from the price of it and the convenience of streaming, but I don't think it would be this dire situation that these theater owners are looking at right now. If you had, Top Gun Mavericks and all these movies that were coming out there, like, people were really enjoying, and the word of mouth nowadays, like that can actually help a movie quite a bit. I think Maverick was a really good example of, I don't really think there was much hype about that movie before it came out. And then the word of mouth was so good, it just ended up making $1 billion. So it's kind of like it would be a different situation if Netflix was coming in here with a really healthy movie industry and trying to change stuff. I think that would be a different situation. But I do wonder about the pushback with Netflix, given where it's at. But you are starting to see even today, there's a ton of stuff going against this. Like OG and I were talking earlier, I'll be utterly shocked if this thing goes through as it stands. Like if it gets approved, I think there's going to be drastic changes to what they're going to have to do.
I think so too. 100%. 100%. Now, Chris here said, don't people go to the movies for a date? No, it is. It's a social thing for sure. Now, personally, I don't think movies are good like first dates or like
I agree, by the way. Completely agree. Yeah.
Wait, do you know someone who agrees that a date or a first date to the movie theater is a good date?
I mean, it's crazy, Tones, because you see, it's like
they have to be single if you do know this person.
I mean, yeah, it's a horrible. It's more for me that like going to the movies is more like if you have like your girl already, like you guys are together, you go to the movies. But like the first few dates, like you want to get to know each other.
Yeah,
and you're not doing that sitting in a theater, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, my wife and I will go like when we can. Or now with the kids, they have those kid showings where you can be loud. Like with our son, he likes to talk during movies. But yeah, I would say I think our first day with my wife, I think we went golfing. Or we went to a driving range, and then we got sushi and we just talked. I feel like that's a better way than because you're just sitting there for like 2 hours and not saying anything, and then it's just awkward because you're like, you're also looking at her the whole time. You really can't pay attention to the movie anyways.
Yeah, no, 100%. Actually, it's kind of funny. I did a recent bar chat on the channel with a friend of ours, Camilla and Alan, right? And we talked about this, not movies, but theme parks. Are theme parks good first dates? And we were talking about Disney, right? Like Disneyland. And I was like, that could either be like the worst possible thing or the best thing. Because if you guys are vibing, you guys are clicking all day together and your fireworks, the rides, you're really bonding for like 12 hours. But if it's awkward and you guys aren't clicking, that's a long 12 hours.
Yes.
Well, I feel like it's a good way to figure out really quickly if you vibe with somebody.
True.
Because in a day in a theme park, you're going to see how someone deals with like, a ride shut down, or like you're going to see kind of like all the different ups and downs of someone and see how
it's either hot or cold outside. You're going to see how they deal with that. There's going to be one or two assholes that you're walking past or that's in front of you. You see how they deal with that. Either hunger or thirst. They're going to see how. I agree. I fucking agree with you.
You know, it's wild. It's wild. Now,
food and drinks while you're there. Yeah, you've got a lot of variety you can do. Yeah, I mean, I actually never thought about that, but that's not a bad first date place.
No, theme parks are like really like 3 or 4 dates in one, kind of. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Alyssa here says, not true. She went on her second date with her husband. I mean,
by the way, Alyssa is a great supporter of mine. Her and her husband, we sometimes when I go on live, relationship stuff pops in, and she has everything we've ever discussed, and it's happened in her relationship. I love her and her husband, like their relationship, because everything that bad happened, usually when we talk about it, like this could be a red flag. She's like, no, this happened with me and my husband, and we've worked through it. And I'm like, or not worked through it, but I don't consider this a red flag because of this or this. And I'm like, holy shit, like you guys are fucking on it, because you don't hear that, especially nowadays. You don't hear shit like that, No,
so 100%.
I would say it's not obviously like. Not that you can't go to movies on a first date. I just in my mind I always felt it's not the best first date.
Yes,
just for that reason. Obviously, like people have gone on first dates and movies for a long time. Sure, many happy marriages came out of first dates and movies. I'm undoubtedly.
Well, especially when you're in like middle school or high school, you obviously know this person because you went to school with them and you want to take them out on a date. Like I feel like a movie date at that age wouldn't be as crazy because you already go to school with them, you already know them like on a personal level. True. Going on a first date to a movie theater wouldn't be as bad.
I remember doing that with Anaconda back in the day. I remember that. It was like a group thing, and you're like paired off, and the whole movie I was just like, do I hold her hand or not? I don't know. You're like in 8th grade, like what? I don't remember what age I was, but yeah. And that movie, John Voight slowly turning into a snake. That entire movie was a very strange experience.
Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Chris here says, why does Netflix have to put ads in the middle of a movie? Why not put them before the movie? Well, there's a reason for that, is because in the middle of the movie, your eyes are focused on it.
Oh, yeah.
You're focused on the content. If they put all those ads in the beginning, Chris, what would happen? That's when everyone's going to the bathroom, getting their food ready, and they come back. They want to make sure that your eyeballs are on the screen when the ad pops up. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't know if I'm just, believe me, I'm not rich by any means, but I either have like the highest Netflix tier, or is there ads on Netflix?
Yeah, the lower one. So ours, I think our Netflix comes with T-Mobile. I don't know. It's part of it's either through my internet or through the phone bill that we have Netflix included, and it has ads, which I went without Netflix for a while. And I will say, I was watching Stranger Things. It's really annoying how many ads are in there now, because I was really used to no ads, and like you're into a spot and you're just like, oh my gosh, like sometimes they're 30 and sometimes they're like a whole minute. It's like, man,
I need to check. I need to check how much I pay for Netflix. I don't even know if I know how much I pay.
I think the top tier is like, I think it's almost, is it 30 for no ads? I know they've got it tiered now where the top one doesn't have ads, but I think they have like 2 other options maybe. I'm not really sure.
Fuck, I don't even know.
Did you guys get the email? Because I don't have Netflix anymore. Did you guys get the email? I heard that people were getting emails like a couple nights ago from Netflix saying, welcome Warner Brothers to the Netflix family and stuff like that.
Yeah, they sent out an email with a statement. Yeah.
That's bold. That's bold.
They're trying to capitalize on it, no doubt.
100%. Nessie here says, do you all think they might change to the higher prices for movies once the change happens? Yeah, I mean, honestly, they might, because I mean, here's the thing, if the theatrical experience becomes more of a niche thing, where it's like only like, you know, the Avatars and the Star Wars go into the theaters, it's probably going to raise the prices, because they're going to have to they're going to want to make as close to as much as they want to make as much money as possible, even though they have less output. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I could see them definitely raising the prices. What say you, Jared? Do you think that's the case here? Or?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Everything keeps getting more expensive. And I brought up too with Netflix, I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to own the theater side, because there's actually no law stopping them now. There was a former law, I think it was in 2020 that got overturned. And so now technically a studio can own a theater chain. I could totally see Netflix either using those Netflix houses as also a theater, or maybe buying AMC or some other theater to try and get that way they don't have to do the split. I could see them being a company or being like, why do we split profits? We just keep the whole thing. And that's what they try and do, and just show Netflix stuff and like Paramount. I could see a situation like that.
Real quick, we might need to answer another question before you guys answer this, because it might take some thinking. Obviously we know movie theaters going forward isn't going to somehow just start kicking ass and be this amazing movie go experience anymore. Like, we know it's on the decline, which means what we need to figure out what needs to be done to move the needle towards the other side. Now, in your guys' opinion, going to the movies, it's not the same as it once was back in the day because of streaming services. What can they implement to make the needle move the other way that we're not getting in this experience that we've been getting these last couple of years?
I think, Jared, you hit the nail on the head earlier. I think Hollywood just needs to make better movies. Now, not to say all movies are bad. I mean, I do enjoy a lot of stuff out there, but I do think there has been a decline. I think overall, I think that there's less stuff out there that people are interested in. I think if Hollywood was really swinging for the fences with better stuff, look, perfect example. When there's a movie out there that people really want to see, Zootopia 2. I mean, this thing is crazy. Like, right?
Yeah.
There's a market for it if you make the right thing. And I just feel like a lot of times Hollywood isn't making the right thing. I don't know. That's my take. I want to say.
Yeah, I would say good, better movies, and probably if you really want to get people in more, the sheer cost of it is probably the biggest prohibiting factor. I do think if you had movies that were back in the 2019 prices, you probably had more movie attendance, because when you also don't have good movies, who is going to want to take a shot at spending, if you got say a family of 4, it would cost us like over $50 to go to a movie before you even get popcorn or anything. So it's like,
exactly.
If it was closer to, $30 to do that, you might be, well, okay, let's go see a movie. But now people are very picky because they're going to wait and see a lot of times of YouTubers, their reviews, what they thought. And then they might be like, okay, I'll go check it out. It's got some pretty good feedback. I think that's where a lot of people are at. And maybe, movie industry leaning into that a bit more like, YouTubers and reviewers and doing things like that. But I would say those are your two biggest levers. I would probably say.
Yeah,
See,
no, well said. The expense plays into the streaming stuff, right? Because it's like,
Right.
that's why it's like, oh, we'll wait for it to go on the streaming service. Because if you take your family of 4 to the theater, you're spending $100 just to get in, and then it's like $9 for a Coke, and it's like it's ridiculous. Go ahead, Tones. I'm sorry, brother.
No, I was gonna say respectfully, I disagree in the sense of like, I don't think it's gonna be that simple to drastically make it a better movie experience. See, of course, I want to pay less money to go see a movie theater, or I want to go see an amazing movie, but we've been seeing shitty movies since the beginning of time. There's been shitty movies that's been coming out since forever, but I think there needs to be something that we're missing here that needs to be implemented into the movie theater experience. If it's not like, I have an idea, but I don't want to say it, but I do think there's something that could potentially happen that could make the movie experience more like an event rather than just a movie. Let's go stop by the movies and watch a movie. I think it may need to be more of an event that hundreds of people can go see at one time, like you do at the Sphere or whatever the case may be. But I think that would be more of a bigger choice for it to happen, to want to go to the movie theaters again, because it's just not the same. And like I said, $30 to go see a movie or I shouldn't say 30, but like for me it'd be like 10 to $15 for a movie ticket. I don't think that would be enough for me to pay less to go to the movie theaters and watch the movie. I think there needs to be something else, in my opinion.
Well, and here's the thing, Tones, to your point, there's the Tesla diner out here in Hollywood, which utilizes kind of like next gen drive-in kind of technology, where you pull up, right? I don't have a Tesla, but you pull up and there's the big screen, and then the movie also plays in your car.
I believe Jay was just talking. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but I could see maybe these movie chains kind of like doing a model like that, where it's like, let's bring back the drive-in, because a lot of cars now have screens in their cars. So I mean,
that's actually a good idea. If you were able to bring back drive-ins with a twist, maybe where you had some sort of to be honest, within 10 years, you could have Tesla bots bringing you food to your car and all sorts of stuff. I love drive-in experiences. We had them for a bit where I grew up, but it became the hot spot for fights and it got shut down. So as long as you can keep it secure and people felt safe, because a lot of times with drive-ins, you get they usually do 2 showings or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something like that too, where you're getting 2 movies or something, or maybe you do with your ticket, you get a thing of popcorn. Like I do think there's a lot of things you could do to incentivize more people to go to movie theaters, for seeming like you're getting a value. And really, you could see Netflix with a Netflix subscription. They could work it in where you get 1 free movie ticket a month or something to go see a Paramount movie. They could do some interesting things on that level that could kind of try and drum up some more theater traffic.
Oh, 100%. If Netflix could harness their influence, for the betterment of the industry while making a boat ton of money, I would love that, So I mean, we'll see what direction they go in if they get it. But ClickNet here asks an interesting question. In your honest opinion, who was the safest bet for Warner Brothers to sell to, Comcast or Netflix? Now, here's the thing, ClickNet. In terms of the safest bet, right? It depends on what you mean by that, right? If you mean who's the safest, in terms of taking care of the studio and the IPs, Comcast. I trust Comcast 1,000 times more than I trust Netflix. 1,000 times more. I've seen Comcast handle, owning Universal, and which they've done great with. I've seen them with their theme parks. I've seen them handle stuff like this before. I have no worry that they would be good with Warner Brothers. Netflix, we're in new territory here with them. And to be fair, they might be fantastic. At one point, Comcast was an unknown. They were a cable company. So they might be great, but Netflix is definitely the riskier of the two in terms of which one is riskier to sell to. What say you, Tones? I'll go to Jared.
And you pretty much answered that correctly. Netflix is the more riskier one because the threat of theatrical experiences might be extinct at some point if they own that much IPs. They want to put everything on the streaming platform, Netflix streaming platform. When it comes to Comcast, I said this a little bit earlier, if we have a if we have Comcast buying it, which means they're going to be focusing on IPs in the park and the movie side, which means they're going to put focus on two other things. I think if Paramount would be my pick, because their focus would be more on the film, making good films rather than dealing with the park and film. Like their main focus would be one thing. And I think with Netflix, there's that focus on movie theaters, not movie theaters, just streaming. And then Comcast would be the parks and theater stuff or film stuff. So that's my opinion. But there's just so much out there that we don't know yet, to where that could change or sway my opinion for sure.
Yeah. What say you, Jared? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the most safe bet would be Comcast. I think the one that may be the most upside potentially is Paramount, just given how much noise they're making, all the things they say they want to do, but they are unproven at this point with the Ellisons.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, yeah, Comcast would be your like safest bet. It's proven what they do. I don't think you'd have a lot of worries there. And like you were saying, Netflix could be good. It's just a lot of unknown. And then what is the further impact on the entire industry? As today has gone along and I've seen a lot of stuff, I'm not unconvinced that Paramount will end up with this, because they're already talking about they offered more with cash per share, and they're looking at potentially doing a hostile bid to get it. It's like going straight to the shareholders. Like this thing could get very interesting.
This is some high drama. And this is the thing. Disney is probably loving this low key. We talked about this earlier, Jared, you and I. Because Disney has been the target and the focus for so much drama for so many years. And now they can, right? And now they can sit back and go, okay, cool. Now it's over there.
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? But Rudio here says Netflix owns the Egyptian in Hollywood. That's where they do most of their premieres. I did not know that. That is interesting.
Yeah. I forgot about that. By the way, I was looking up, I found what I was talking about here. So do you guys know Charles Gasparino? He was reporting that there is bipartisan opposition to the Netflix WB deal. The DOJ hasn't chimed in, but Zaslav is open to an increased bid from Paramount. So even Zaslav is even saying even though they're going into exclusive negotiations with Netflix, he's even openly saying, well, I'm open to a higher bid, because I think honestly, we had questions about that. I just think Zaslav wants the most money.
Oh, 100%.
I think this is all this is. And I think Paramount was arguing that Zaslav took the deal with Netflix because he was going to make personally more money and some of the management or something like that. Yeah, this is going to get really interesting. And it's only Saturday. Like you're not even on Monday.
Dude, it is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But as film fans and as people, for us that we report on this stuff, I mean, it's like crazy interesting. I mean, I could do 8 videos a week on this topic. There's so many different angles to this story.
And probably by Wednesday, there'll be 4 more stories about twists and turns on this thing. Because at some point, the DOJ or somebody is going to comment on this, which is going to give you an indication of what they're leaning toward. And I think they were also reporting that they were saying that they were unsure if the DOJ was openly going to comment on it, but they might basically just open up an investigation to look into it and use that as their way to comment on it. So I don't know. It's going to be really
wild. That's wild. Nessie here says, I sneak in snacks. That's great. I love that. I love that. Hey, we've all done it, right? We've all done it.
I've taken Subway sandwiches into movie theaters before.
That's
a full on. It used to be like a whole challenge of what we could get into a theater back in the day. We'd get like Starbucks, a dessert. Like we would just see what we could get away with, and they never said a word to us.
You want to hear the most diabolical thing I've ever seen someone bring into a fucking movie theater?
What's that?
3 buckets of KFC chicken.
No!
3 buckets. I was like 3 of them things. I was like, how do you? Yeah, exactly. I was like, how the fuck you get 1 in here? You got 3? I was like,
and then you're gonna smell, and it's gonna the fried chicken smell is just gonna overtake the whole place.
Like, it did.
That's fantastic.
Did they at least pass around some chicken to people around them or something?
I walked by them when I came back from the bathroom. I seen them there, and I seen a dude from behind him reach over and like, "Hey, can I get some?" As I'm walking, and I'm fucking laughing the whole time, dude.
I love
fucking laughing.
I love it.
I respect that.
Oh yeah, I love it. Now, do you guys have Tones? Do you have Jollibees or no? Over where you're at?
Where I'm at currently, no, but I grew up in the Bay Area where we had Jollibee. Yeah.
Okay, so KFC or Jollibees in your
Oh,
opinion?
Jollibee, and I've never had Jollibee. That's the thing. I could tell you
I've never
right now,
even heard of
Jollibee is
Jollibee.
Yeah,
really.
Jollibee's pretty big out here in California. So you guys don't have it out there in Florida, huh?
I'm not a big
No.
KFC guy. That's why too. I don't like KFC.
Yeah, we
think
got
it's that good.
KFC and like Bojangles, and I
Okay.
think Church. I think there's a Church's, but I don't. I think the last time I got fried chicken was probably at Publix though. I haven't gone to any of those places for a while.
Okay. Yeah, we used to have a chain out here that was pretty good called Pioneer, but I don't think there's any left.
Have
That's
you guys
old
ever had
school.
Korean fried chicken?
Oh hell yeah. I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
good.
I,
It's
I don't
good.
think anyone can top Korean fried chicken.
Dude,
Like I
it's
think
amazing.
it's the best. It's
There was
so
a
damn
place, it's a chain when we were in Missouri for Thanksgiving. It's a chicken tender place, but they only use the tenderloin. They called it like the filet mignon of chicken. And I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'm going to text my wife. It was amazing. It was 10 times better than Chick-fil-A. Like I was shocked. It came like it had dip. It almost had the Cane's dipping sauce with it, but it's some sort of chain that's popped up. I was shocked. I'm actually glad they don't have them nearby because I'd go there all the time. It was.
good. Do you
It was
guys
that
have Dave's? Do you guys have Dave's hot chicken in Florida?
There's one in Orlando, I think.
Have you ever
Not
had it?
around us, but that's what it. Huey Magoo's. Somebody said that. I think that's what it was. Something Magoo's is what that place was called. But yeah, it was
Gotcha.
amazing.
Damn.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
Huey Magoo's. Yeah.
shout to Robert, by the way, a friend. He's great. We love you, Robert. We love you, Robert. All our Florida peeps. Robert says Publix chicken. We don't have Publix out here in California.
Chicken's good, man, and their sub sandwiches. It's a good spot, and you'll find a Publix every 20 feet down here. They're building like 3 within like a 5-mile stretch of my house now. Like they're just putting them like the old Starbucks model. They're just putting them everywhere.
I love it. That's wild.
That's crazy.
Lucas and Disney, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you for the $20 super chat. He says here, we all know Comcast is the safest bet. Netflix will do anything it takes to grab the library of shows WB has. Paramount is really in a hard position because they don't have the same amount as their competitors. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you, Lucas, in terms of like Netflix. I think they're in this. They want this. Well, there's that $5 billion, Jared, we were talking about it in the group chat today. The $5 billion if the deal doesn't go through, they got to pay Warner $5 billion. I mean, they are in this, you know.
Yep.
I mean,
I think it's even $5 billion, even if it ends up being denied. Like even if it doesn't fall through on their end, it's just if the government says no, they still have to pay it. Which, I mean, Netflix, they can afford that, but that's still a ton of money to put up.
Insane. So what happens if the Paramount does the hostile bid and they do that and they get outbidded? Do they still have to pay that $5 billion?
So that was just between Netflix and Warner Brothers, but I believe Paramount was putting up the same $5 billion for the same type of things. They probably would enter into the same type of agreement, I would imagine.
Oh, they're going all in.
I mean, Warner Brothers could just end up making a bunch of money off of failed bid attempts and get out of their debt. I mean, wouldn't that be funny at the end of this? They just end up being like, never mind, and they just made $10 billion, and they're like, we took care of some of our debt. No worries.
Oh my God,
Can you imagine? Well, and here's the thing, Lucas. I the biggest point of contention for the DOJ is going to be that streaming service element, right? With Netflix and HBO Max. I mean, and you were saying it earlier, Jared, and I completely agree. There's going to have to be some changes if that Netflix thing is going to get approved. And I don't think there's any way that we're going to see them. There's no way they're going to allow Netflix to have 30% of the market share. I mean, that would be insane.
Yeah, and anytime you have left and right politicians all agreeing on something, that's probably a bad sign if you're Netflix.
That's true.
I mean, I also think like public sentiment. Like I haven't seen many people being very positive about this. Like even the ones that are for it are kind of just like, well, we'll see. But I think there's a lot of people that are just the public pressure on some level could actually play into this. And I do wonder, like I do agree, the streaming side is the biggest monopolistic factor. But I wonder how much they will take into account the risk to the theaters involved in it. Like I don't know if they can put a quantifying number on that or anything, but I am curious as to like if that is going to be considered.
Well, here's the thing, and to your point, you were saying enacting laws. Maybe what happens is that they in order to get regulatory approval, they have to put some sort of like 10-year condition in terms of like to keep the theaters in business. Go ahead, Tones.
No, I was just gonna say, what was I gonna say? That would be I just feel like they need something. Like there has to be some kind of, and you were even saying maybe take out HBO Max out of the deal,
Right.
and maybe sell that separately or have it up for sale in a separate sale. But I think that would even be beneficial for everyone if they just pay. But that's the thing, having HBO Max would be like probably one of their, I guess, one of the biggest things why they wanted WB in the first place was because of HBO Max. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh no, we got to take this out. But still, there has to be something, and I feel like what I was gonna say is, what confuses me is why people are confused after Netflix made the highest bid. Like the news that Netflix was going to buy it, I think that should have not pissed people off, but made people concerned then. But now they're all surprised that they won the bid. So that's where my confusion is. Like, didn't you see this coming when they announced they wanted to make a purchase for WB? But I feel like a lot of people are coming out now and saying like, oh, now Netflix is going to take all the movies out and we're not going to have a movie theater experience. I was really confused when I seen everyone just fucking start panicking after Netflix made that big bid. All of a sudden, I was like,
well, yeah, I think people were like, kind of like, I think for a little while there in the beginning, I think people really thought Paramount, it was, they had it, like those early days.
What is this, like the strike 4? They've had like 4 or 5 bids that have been turned down. So, I mean, yeah, am I wrong on that? I thought Paramount had the larger bid. I think they were bidding $30 a share, and Netflix was like at 28. I thought, because I thought that was Ellison's whole point, was we had a bigger offer, all cash, and that's why they were going to go to the board member or the shareholders, because they would actually make more money with a Paramount deal versus Netflix.
Right, and Paramount's going for the entire thing.
That's the thing too. That's what's very surprising. Yeah, they would take on the linear assets, which I would assume Warner Brothers would be totally fine with that. That's what's kind of surprising, because Netflix definitely doesn't want linear.
Yeah, it's crazy. James All Day here says the weirdest thing was that everyone was against Paramount buying WB. Now that Netflix bought it, now they want President Trump, who is friends with the Ellisons, to stop the acquisition. Yeah, it is kind of like it's a whole big thing, and that's why this whole situation is going to blow up crazy. This is going to be this political craziness for 18 months. Okay, this is nuts.
It is funny that Hollywood is going to rally around Trump to cancel, like to not let this happen. And you have to think on a human level, does that sway stuff? Like you talk about the Jimmy Kimmel stuff when that whole went down, all of Hollywood, and obviously they're not as powerful as they used to be, but they still have sway. Would potentially the administration do that because they would maybe look at saying, okay, if we do this, maybe they won't come out so hard against us, sort of situation? I'm not convinced that would be the case, but I do wonder how much of you're going to have. I mean, you already do. Spielberg, Nolan, you're going to have some big hitters come out that are probably going to end up testifying in front of Congress about how this is a terrible thing for the movie industry and the optics of it. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure to at the very least, this thing's going to change a lot. That part will be very interesting.
Yeah, I know, 100%, 100%. And then we have, I don't feel people wanted Paramount Skydance to win the bid. They just didn't want Netflix to win. Yeah, absolutely, Gizzardo. Absolutely.
This is my name for a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. And what's going on, Ting Proof? What's going on? Yeah, this is interesting stuff. This is super interesting.
What is your guy gut instinct, or like your prediction? Do you think this ends up happening, or do you think this ends up going back to the drawing board?
I think Netflix is ultimately probably going to get it, but it's going to be an altered thing. I think it's going to be, they're going to have to make some kind of concession or some sort of promise to theatrical or something. But I think ultimately Netflix will probably get it. What say you, Tom?
No, I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, unless Paramount can somehow do this hostile bidding or whatever the wordage was there that I saw, if they could somehow do it and it makes sense for WB to do it, I mean, I wouldn't mind them doing it. But there's the thing that is really crazy is that there's a positive and negative to all three of these companies owning WB, instead of Warner Brothers just keeping it where it's at and then Jared said earlier, like, oh, fuck it, we're just gonna go back to the drawing board, we're not selling no more. That would be the funniest part.
It'd be hilarious.
but I do think Netflix is going to end up getting it. I do think there needs to be some kind of altered with the contract or whatever is going to happen with the purchase, though. And I think it's going to happen because theaters can't go they can't go extinct. They just can't do it.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I think more than likely Netflix ends up with like the properties. I do think the streaming is that thing that could be pulled out of it. I do think, though, I think there's a more than, I would say at this point, maybe in my head, a 20% chance that Paramount ends up with it due to the fact of, I think the administration would rather it go with Paramount. And it seems like the Ellisons are I mean, you got to think billionaires aren't told no very often. So these guys may just lose their minds trying to get this. Personally speaking, I think that could happen. I think more than likely Netflix ends up with it. Maybe the streaming stuff goes somewhere else. 20% shot that Paramount gets it. I actually think the better way to go about this, and I think the most fair thing, would be if Warner Brothers were just sort of auctioned off in different pieces. Like, you know, one studio gets, maybe it's Batman. Like, you know what I mean? Like that way, if Netflix purchased just, say, the rights to Batman, I do think they might treat that a little bit more like their baby versus getting everything where it's just, and that's your worry with Netflix, is that it's just another piece of content. They start a Batman show, and then, you know how Netflix is, season 1 doesn't do as well as they think. And I was like, okay, it's done. You're like, well, are you done with Batman forever now? And versus another studio might end up giving these properties a little bit more like love and attention versus how Netflix could possibly treat them.
Yes.
Real quick, this I need both of your guys' opinions on this.
Okay.
What if Netflix were to turn all of their IPs, that even with the acquisition of Warner Brothers, turn their IPs and all their movies and make a park, an amusement park like Disney or Universal, and did all that with their IPs? Do you think, for one, do you think it would be something that people would attend? And do you think it would be something that they could do?
Oh yeah, no, Jared, we talked about this on your channel. Go ahead, I'll let you take the lead.
I've been saying for months that I think there could be another player that pop up in the theme park realm. And you look at those Netflix houses, that's kind of their first step of kind of getting into this realm. Right. And that's where we had talked about a video I just put on my channel with OG, that there's apparently Warner Brothers was negotiating the DC park rights with Comcast before all this broke. So I do wonder if Comcast is trying to secure up some of these theme park rights, and really, where is Netflix's entire, like, do they have a plan to maybe do this down the road if they get all these things? Because even if they were going to do it, let's say they announced today we're doing theme parks, they wouldn't have anything for like a decade. It would take them a while. But I do think if a company was going to do it, Netflix could be the one to do it. Because if you look at the money Disney and Universal are making, some other big company is going to be like, we want a piece of that pie. And if they have all those IPs at their disposal, they would have enough IPs to really do a theme park.
They would, and they have deep pockets, and they can pull Imagineers, and they can pull Universal creative people and get them over there and make some top-notch stuff. I mean, they just have to write the check, you know?
Well, that's what they do in the tech world with AI. I don't know if you guys ever pay attention, like the AI, like engineer wars. You have like Meta, these companies, they're paying these engineers $1 million to come over and be their AI architects. Like, this is a big issue with like OpenAI and stuff, of losing all this talent, because everyone's overpaying for this. So yeah, you could see Netflix come and be like, Joe Rohde, we'll pay you this. So like, grabbing all these people and just creating a super team of creatives to be like, let's make an awesome park. Like, I could totally see that being the case, because that's kind of the MO of a tech company, and that's kind of how Netflix operates.
100%. The 2010, that would be insane, Tones. That would be absolutely insane, and that would impact. The current companies too, because Universal has licensing arrangements with Warner Brothers. If Netflix gets into this theme park world, are they gonna want to continue to license their stuff out, or are they gonna want to do their own? Like, for example, the Universal had a Stranger Things maze or house, right, for HHN. Are they gonna do that if they have their own parks? Probably not, you know. So it's gonna have massive ramifications.
Wow, dude.
And here's the other thing too about Netflix. Netflix, more than just about any other studio, moves the needle culturally. Like, I mean, Netflix shows and movies, they move that cultural needle like no other. K-pop Demon Hunters is a beast. Okay, it's an absolute beast.
And it's going to continue to be a beast.
100%. Stranger Things, again, I don't see Disney even releasing content that's moving the needle like Netflix. I mean,
No.
to be fair,
Now, when something pops on Netflix, it goes. I mean, you're Stranger Things right now. Now, personally, I would be all for it. I love competition. I would love for Netflix or some other company to pop up and force both Disney and Universal. Like, I think
to get better.
Oh yeah, I think it's great for the consumers.
Love it. I fucking love it, dude.
But I do what the OG and I touched on this. The only I don't know where it lies with that whole Harry Potter stuff, because J.K. Rowling does have a controlling part of that. I wonder how much, if say Netflix and her, like if she has the final say. So maybe Harry Potter isn't affected by that potentially, but all the other stuff would be, and they would have plenty of stuff that they could play with, like especially if they were able to have a resurgence of Looney Tunes and all these things like that, and bring those into theme parks. I think that would be. And then the thing about, like, they're going to be Stranger Things spinoffs, I'm sure. I think I already heard about a Hopper prequel or something like that.
So there's an animated show that's going to be in between the seasons 2 and 3. They're going to stick with the kids and that storyline, but it's just going to be animated. Unfortunately, we're not getting the actors voicing those animated kids.
They're also like 35 now, though.
Yeah, true. Also, they're doing another spin-off that it's just in talks right now. The Duffer Brothers confirmed that they're doing a spin-off of Stranger Things, different characters and different story, same timeline though. It's gonna link back to what happened in Hawkins, apparently.
That's
what
cool.
Yeah,
that's okay. Cool. And actually, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, go ahead, OG.
I just quick. I was actually at Target today, and they got some fire Stranger Things clothes, like jackets and stuff, bro. Like the vintage, like 80s style, dude. They were. I was like, well, okay. Dude, yeah, I was kind of surprised, because usually, I mean, Target, I wasn't expecting it, but it was pretty dope. Go ahead, Tones. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna come back to this comment by him, but what Alyssa says right here, I said it before. They could make a Game of Thrones theme park. Take my money. This is millions of people would have said this to me before. Like if they were to ever make anything Game of Thrones, it would be crazy. It would be insane, dude.
And Universal would be the company to do it, because Universal has a little bit of that edge. You know what I'm saying? You could do Game of Thrones in like Epic Universe, which would be the perfect park for it. And the cool, oh man, I'm telling you, that would be insane.
Well, think about it. Netflix were to get let's say Netflix did theme parks and they got the WB stuff, they would also have Lord of the Rings. And they could throw that. That's something that now I don't know how much that would move the needle culturally, but I do know I would love to see it, and the Lord of the Rings fans would love it. And who knows what they could. I mean, Netflix probably would relaunch Lord of the Rings on some level too.
Have you guys seen the movie Dune?
Yes,
I saw the first one, not the second one.
Can you? Oh, by the way, second one was better, so you should watch the second one. OG,
definitely.
The second one was better. I agree.
But can you imagine a fucking ride for Dune, like the worm ride? Like make it like a worm.
Be so cool.
Come on, man. Oh my fuck.
I'm telling you, I like that. Oh my fuck.
Oh, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
There's so many things that are popping in my head right now, dude. I just want to take my phone and start recording so I can fucking make videos now. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, 2010 countdown says, would Netflix retain Warner Brothers cable assets? If so, what would happen to stuff like CNN, Cartoon Network, and HBO? No, I think the cables. Well, here's the thing. It depends, actually. If Netflix gets it, no, they're not going to be in charge of like CNN and all that. There's Warner Brothers wants to spin the cable stuff off, but if Paramount buys it, they want the whole thing, so they would be in charge of things like CNN, which is probably why. Which is probably at least a part of the reason why Trump is like, okay, yeah, Paramount. You know, I mean, I know him and CNN don't really get along. You know,
that's probably a decent reason as to why. That's a good point. I could see that. And Rudio said too, and this is true. The Duffer Brothers do have a deal with Paramount now, which is interesting.
They sure
interesting. I'm telling you, Game of Thrones at a Universal Park, Lord of the Rings. You could do so much with these properties. It would be insane.
It'd be insane. And that's what's really interesting is Netflix. And if you think about Netflix, they started as you mailed movies in the mail. That's how they started. And then I remember when the streaming thing popped up and I was like, what is this? And then obviously it worked. But like they've morphed a ton as a company. And I think probably in 10 years, they'll probably look different than what they are even now, because they're always going to try and find new revenue streams. And you can even make a case that streaming is for the most part, hit saturation probably. Like most people that have streaming have it. And so them doing this is maybe they're trying to get into theatrical potentially, or just create new revenue streams, which would also lead to potentially doing theme parks, which they're kind of doing with those houses. So it's not a far stretch to think that they could dip their toes into it or other things. I mean, they could do a lot of stuff that I don't think a regular studio would do.
Yeah, Rudio also mentioned here, and I'll come back to Toji's question, but Rudio mentioned up here, Netflix has a restaurant experience in Vegas, so they're dipping into this real world physical experience stuff already. I'm telling you, they might be kind of laying the groundwork here for some major theme park stuff.
I wonder what that looks like, though. I wonder what that Netflix restaurant looks like.
Well, that's true. That's true. Toji here says, dude, Toji, that's an awesome, like, he's got like a dope, like, profile pic and the name and everything. That's cool. Dude, is Netflix gonna, is Netflix gonna remove the Warner Brothers intros, or will they stay like the WB logo intro in all HP movies and all creative Warner Brothers intro in classic? Well,
we have no idea.
We have no idea. I mean, that's way out there, Toji, in terms, I mean, the deal probably will take 12 to 18 months even to get approved, you know, with all this drama going on with it. But I will say this, Netflix would be really stupid to abandon the WB branding. Warner Brothers is a strong brand, and they should keep the brand in intact, I think. I mean, I think it'd be bad if they didn't.
As Disney fucking left out 20th Century Fox and put it in the ground. Literally in the ground, and Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine put it in the ground and fucking put it in the movies. Hilarious, by the way.
I was actually surprised they actually put that in there, because I actually wondered how self-deprecating they would be in that movie, but they were pretty self-deprecating.
Yeah, no, they were. Remy Deer, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really do appreciate it, Remy D, as always. I read that the WB board saw Paramount's bid as riskier because their all-cash bid is partially funded by foreign governments, the Saudis, whereas Netflix is all their own. I mean, that's a fair concern. I mean, honestly, I can see that definitely, for sure. What say you, Jared?
Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't read any of that. I mean, I could see. I guess you would say, is it a concern of Saudi money being involved, or what's the bigger concern about what Netflix? If the worry there is, what are they going to end up doing with these properties? I don't know. I feel like you'd have to weigh that in terms of, is a bigger risk for that, or is it a bigger risk of the unknown quantity that is Netflix? Unless the talks that they had, who knows what Sarandos and those guys promised them and said that they would do that we just don't know about. I mean, a lot of this is just kind of shooting in the dark right now. But I mean, we've talked about it before. It's a decent concern because you don't know, are they going to have a lot of creative control if they're going to put up a lot of this money, which they have plenty of it, but how much, control would they have over everything after the fact? I guess would be a pretty good question.
Yeah. What say you, Tony? Do you think that would be a big concern for them in terms of foreign governments kind of getting involved in this major Hollywood studio?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, we just don't know. I should say I don't know enough about what could and could not happen if a foreign country were to get involved. I'm not too familiar with what the Saudis would do with some of these IPs. But obviously I would love for some of these characters that we already know to remain pretty much the same. I don't know if the Saudis would ever change that and change some of these characters, but I just don't know enough about what they would do or how they would handle things. So I couldn't really give you a legit answer, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what is interesting is the king of Saudi Arabia, bin Salman or whatever his name is. He is like, he went to school in America, because when he talks in the English, he sounds like he's an American, but he loves American pop culture. So I don't know how much he would be involved in that end, but I do think some of the Saudis really do enjoy American culture. I would imagine, what I had heard about Paramount wants to do, it might just be a lot more 80s action flick type stuff, which I'd be totally on board with. You're going to start doing that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if they were just going to be action movies and ultra masculinity, I'd be like, I'm okay with it. But I don't know where Warner Brothers stands with that, or Netflix or anything.
No, 100%. 2010 countdown here. Oh, go ahead, Tones. I'm sorry.
No. After, I want to go to a comment after this. Go ahead.
Sure. How would Netflix handle the inevitable culture clash between the tech culture and WB's more traditional minded culture. And I think we're already seeing the clash, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, just the idea that they're buying it is already causing,
I don't think Netflix would care at all.
No, at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. Go ahead, Tones. Which comment was it? It was
the Nessie Ness one. I wonder how the changes would be overseas as well.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because so she says, I wonder how the changes would be overseas as well. There, I don't know if it's gone to effect already when it comes to film overseas, but the whole tariff thing was being introduced by Trump by movies that are being made overseas because he wants more movies here in the U.S. There's going to be a lot of questions on what happens with overseas movies in general now, because some people don't, apparently these tariffs are, I'm not too familiar with them, but apparently these tariffs are ridiculous filming overseas when, some of these movies that we watch, you kind of have to get certain shots overseas. There's beautiful shots in, not Game of Thrones, for example. You see these beautiful shots in different countries, and that's the beauty of some of these movies is the cinematography. Now, I may not want to see a Game of Thrones show somewhere shot in fucking Utah. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So, there's gonna be these questions about overseas stuff is what I've been trying to kind of wrap my head around, because I don't know any of those answers. Because of these tariffs now, and I don't know if they're even introduced it or when they're going to be introduced. And now you hear the Saudis, are they going to, most likely they're going to film here, but what if they do film somewhere else? Is that going to somehow matter? I don't know. And those are the questions that I would love to be answered, because I just don't know.
Well, Tones, that's a fantastic point. Go ahead, Jared.
Well, I was saying, I think I remember correctly. It was something about, it was like the certain percentage of the movie filmed was needing to be in the US. I would assume that they could go get B-roll shots and stuff like that, but it may be the majority of the shooting or something like that. I'm not really sure. I remember reading something about that months ago, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, some of those shots. I mean, I know they use New Zealand a lot for a lot of these shows.
Oh yeah,
beautiful country.
That's where Zelda's filming right now. It's gorgeous,
dude. And the casting for Link and Zelda were spot on.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I'm
actually really excited for that. I'm hoping, I mean, the casting looks good. I'm curious about Link, how much he'll talk, because he will talk.
Yeah.
Does he talk too much or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll see. Rudio here says, did any of you catch the story that of Ellison and Tom Cruise? Apparently they aren't on the best of terms. They've been avoiding each other since Ellison told Cruise to find the money himself for the Mission Impossible movies. I have not heard that drama, but that is,
I thought the Mission Impossible movies were done.
Are they? Are they done?
Last one. I thought the last one was that they did was the final Mission Impossible, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not hear that drama. I mean, Tom Cruise, man, he's one of the he's one of the rarities where he's just as talented off camera as he is on camera. Mm-hmm. That's not normal in a good way. I mean, I think he's great. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's crazy how talented he is. Go ahead, Jared.
Oh, one of these days he's gonna do a stunt and die in a movie, and it's gonna make $2 billion. It's gonna be the Heath Ledger. Went to see the movie where Tom Cruise jumped out of a space shuttle and something went wrong. Like the stunts he does is, gosh, it's
insane.
Yeah,
but he's one of those. He's one of those actors where I don't know him personally, but I'm sure he's one of those actors where a lot of these companies can't or shouldn't say no to him because of what he's done and the money he brings in. And I'm sure that might have been, if they aren't on the best of terms, that's probably wise, because he might have told them no for a movie. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Somebody puts Tom Cruise in a corner.
Exactly. We got Mr. Jay Shear in the house. Jay, it's always good to see you. Too many good dudes in this live. Well, thank you, Jay. We appreciate you, brother. And everybody at home, and I'll be linking it in the description down below after the live is done. Everyone check out Jay Shear's short film Disclosure. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jay's a filmmaker, and his film Disclosure, all about aliens and like nerdy stuff. You guys at home and gals will love it. So I'll be linking it after the show. So make sure you check back and check it out. Always good to see you, Jay. Appreciate you.
I always think it's funny. I make points that Jay will then make, and I'm like, Jay sounds way smarter saying it than me. He says it.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he's just like, well, actually, I'm like, okay, Jay's response was better than mine.
Oh, 100%. No, Jay's responses are like almost like poetic. It's like they're so like,
it, you know, he's like, well, and you know, I'll just give reactions to things.
That's so funny. You guys say that.
I feel the same way. 100%. 100%. Lucas here says if Ellison helped Cruise, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning would have been better. It looked rushed and short funded. Yeah, I never saw it. But that's
I haven't seen the final one. I saw the one before the final one. There was something about that movie that just didn't hit. Like I loved Ghost Recon. I think that may have been. I'm trying to think of the one. It was that one, or there's another one that may have been the best Mission Impossible. But something just looked and felt different about that movie than the previous ones. But I never could put my finger on it when I was watching it, though.
Interesting. Now, here's an interesting thing that 2010 Countdown brings up. There are concerns about the Saudi human rights record, given that it's an oil-backed theocratic monarchy. Okay, I see that point, but Hollywood does business with a lot of the Chinese government and you know, so I don't know if Hollywood gets in bed with
did that check clear?
Yes,
if it's cleared, then they're like, hey, not a big deal.
Yeah, and like our friend John said earlier, hold on, he had a great post about that just a second ago. Where did he put that? Let me see. Yeah, here it is. The Saudis could write a check for $100 billion and it would go through today. 100%.
Undoubtedly. I've said it before. They don't even know how much money the Saudis have. Like when they talk about the world's richest men, they're not including the Saudis because they actually don't know. They know that fund is like in the trillions, but I don't know how many trillions.
When you said that, when I was on here with you last time, I didn't even think of it like that because it's the truth, though. It's the fucking truth. You don't include them in richest man alive because they're in their whole fucking another realm than everyone else. That's insane to think about.
Yeah, right. I think people kind of think like, oh, they have money. I'm like, no, they have like all the money.
Yep.
They could change all three of our lives right now, like in a big way.
They wouldn't even notice
it. Yeah, I know.
They check their bank account and be like, I thought I had another. Well, whatever. I don't know.
It's like, you know, when we check our bank account and you're like, oh, we got an Apple charge for $2.99. What app is that? Right? That's how the Saudis are when they lose $1 billion. It's like, $1 billion? Which one was that?
Did you write a check for $1 billion? I don't know where it's at.
Nessie here says it. Now, is her name Vanessa?
Vanessa, yeah.
Vanessa. Thank you so much or Ness. We appreciate you hanging out today. But she says here, with the possibility of changes, do y'all think some actors won't agree to do a movie deal? That's a great point. That's a great point, Ness. Well, I can see that happening for sure.
I mean, it's happened with fucking, believe it or not, Star Wars. People said no to, which is mind-boggling to hear, is people said no to Star Wars, like because of some of the directions they were going. So, I mean, it's been happening for a while, but with the movie deals now of what's going on, like, I guess they could. I mean, it depends on who you're asking. Some of these people who just make movies for a check. I mean, obviously for me, you could tell who's there for the passion of the movie or just wanted there to be a check. But that's a very good question, and probably I think it's most likely yes.
Yeah,
they can also throw enough money at a big actor to be in something to kind of like break through that if that were to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like go get yourself Denzel Washington in some featured thing. I mean, I love anything Denzel's in, so I'd be in for that.
Me too.
Absolutely. Jay here says Mission Impossible Fallout is the best one since the original. That's probably the one you were thinking of, Jared.
Ghost Recon was that's what it was. Fallout. Yeah, Fallout was amazing. And there was just something about the newer one where it also looked like the cinematography was different. Like it looked like it was shot differently, like a different camera or something. It didn't feel the same. But I kind of agree with what the other person said. It almost felt certain scenes were rushed, which seems odd in Mission Impossible. But yeah, Fallout was great.
And he continues with make Knights of the Old Republic into a movie, make $1 billion. Why not? You know, it's funny with Star Wars in that, like, I don't know. A lot of times there's like money on the table with stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just like, okay, for example, Galaxy's Edge. It's like, just put like, you know, put the droids in there, like, you know, like what we were promised initially. Put the restaurant in there that we were promised initially. Put
Play
the
Star
banthas,
Wars music.
play Star Wars music. I mean, come on, you got the legendary John Williams at your fingertips there. I mean, utilize that. The music in Star Wars is a character in and of itself. Like, it's crazy to me.
100%. Yeah.
They don't use that, you know? So,
put
yeah.
Darth Vader in there, you know, the greatest villain in movie history, potentially. Put him in there. Now, have you guys played KOTOR, by the way?
I have not.
Have you played it? Oh, my gosh. It is the best twist. I know it's in a game. Maybe one of the best twists in anything, media-wise. It would do amazing. Now, a lot of people already know the twist, but
what is it called?
If you didn't know the twist going into it, you would have a lot of people in theaters just being like, "What?"
What is it?
It's a video game called Knights of the Old Republic, but they shorthand it and call it KOTOR.
Gotcha.
It's like 1,000 years or so before the original trilogy. So it's like this whole. And then I've actually felt like for a long time with Star Wars, they either need to go 1,000 years in the future or 1,000 years in the past. And just
what'd you think about the Acolyte, Jared? I don't know if I ever asked you this.
I stepped in that yesterday in the yard and I it was terrible. I hate it. Like, it had some moments that were okay, but for the most part, I completely hated every second of it outside of a few seconds.
Yeah, and Tones, I think you know my answer to that.
Yes, it's either I didn't see it or hell no. One of those.
No, you got it right the first time. It's on my list.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched I watched like the first 10 minutes. I was like, I can't do this, and then I finally went back. I was like, okay, I'll start. And so like I slowly went through it, but it was not enjoyable. It was not like it wasn't like watching. I'm all caught up almost on Stranger Things. So I got through when we were traveling. I love watching Stranger Things. Like, it's a great show to watch. That was not the same experience of The Acolyte. It felt like I was at work. I was like, I gotta clock in. Okay.
Did you finish Stranger Things, by the way?
I am at season 5, episode 3, so I'm almost all the way caught up.
Do me a favor. I don't know if do you know anything what happens? Have you been?
I do not know. I've actually been very good about keeping away from spoilers.
I'm not going to give you any kind of spoiler, but I will say if you want a Instagram video or TikTok video to do well, record yourself for the last episode, the finale for the 4th episode. Just record yourself.
Okay.
Your face.
Okay.
Or you and your wife's reaction watching.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
No, I love season 4 was awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I still think season 1 is hard to beat. Like, maybe the best season of television.
It could have been its standalone season.
Yes. It was great.
Yeah,
but season 4 it got right back on track, and the way that ended, I was like, what? But yeah.
It's
even
wild.
the ending of episode 2 of season 5. My wife and I saw that, and I'm just like, hold on a second. Like, I have a theory. I won't put it out there right now. I don't want to give spoilers to people. I have a theory of what this could be, and if it is, I'm in. I'll put it that way.
Let me know when you're finished, because Jay and I just did a live yesterday talking Stranger Things season 5.
I saw that. I started watching it. And you guys started talking. I was like, oh god, I closed it out real quick. Really quick here. But yeah, I wanted to watch that. But yeah, no. As soon as that is, I'll hit you up because
let me know, because I definitely want to get your opinion on season 5.
Now Lucas here says prequels had worse writing than Acolyte for me, at least episode 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's one thing too, and this is a whole can of worms. But like, I think the dialogue, Lucas is not known for his dialogue, and I feel he did Hayden Christensen so dirty with those, because Hayden got a lot of shit for that, you know.
He did,
and it wasn't really him, I don't think, because even Natalie Portman, she's a seasoned actress, and she was struggling through those lines, you know.
Yeah, I think somewhere in an edit of episode 2 is a good movie. If you cut out the whole frolicking Darth, if you were going to tell me you're going to watch a Star Wars movie where Darth Vader is frolicking through a field with Padme, and I'm like, I don't want this, but I do feel like there is some story in there, because there were parts of 2 that I think were pretty good, very interesting. Obviously, I think George Lucas even said he did 1 and 2 to make 3, and I like 3 quite a bit, but yeah, 1 was just so slow. I remember being in the theaters the first time I saw it, and I was like, I don't like this, but I'm supposed to. Like, I just felt this weird, like, this isn't the same experience I'm used to with Star Wars.
Real quick before we move on, is there a thing where it's either like you really liked those 3 or you really dislike those 3?
Well, initially it wasn't divisive. I think majority of Star Wars fans hated the prequels. Would you kind of agree, Jared? When they first were released,
I
wasn't.
think the prequels got a lot of. I think when you were younger, that was a lot of the younger generation's Star Wars. And by the way, Jay, I'm in on the next Stranger Things live stream. Totally in. I love that show. I think that was like their Star Wars. I think people who knew the OG trilogy definitely didn't like it, but then I think the sequel trilogy has made the prequels like, we treated you too harshly. We're very sorry. Like, I liked good elements to it.
See, I liked the prequels. I thought they were. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched them, if I'm being honest. But when I first watched them, I don't remember having any kind of issues with any of them. But that was my generation growing up on Star Wars. The Star Wars, the sequels came out before I was even born. So
yeah,
I
didn't hate them either. I thought 3 was definitely the better one, and the choreography. Like, what gets me is the lightsaber duels in 3 are still unmatched. Like, with all the technology and all the Star Wars content we've gotten since Disney bought it, there's nothing even close to what they did in Episode 3. Not even remotely close, in my opinion.
No, that was it. I like Episode 3 a lot. That was. I
could watch that duel on Mustafar. I could watch it all day.
Even today, even with better effects today, those scenes are untouched.
And that movie is the meme king to this day. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, how many memes have come off of that movie? It's crazy, right?
I've used the where he yells liar. I've used that in videos so many times about something. Just, liar.
Liar.
I love it. I love it. Now, Remy D's asking, where is that live stream? So, Tones, you and Jay, you did a multi-channel thing, right? You want to go ahead and let Remy D know where they can find you and Jay?
Just go to Tones_TV and or go to How Stories Work with Jay Shear. We cover them on both channels, but you can go to either or Tones_TV or How Stories Work with Jay Shear. We do a multi-stream live. We do a lot of stuff on TikTok as well. We just had a crazy live the other night or last week. There was hundreds of people in there. We had a great time. We had people come up on TikTok, by the way, Tones_TV on TikTok. We had people come up and tell us what they liked, what they disliked, their theories on what the Upside Down is. We had such a great freaking time, man. But we do a lot of stuff on both channels, Tones_TV and How Stories Work with Jay Shear.
There it is. There it is. Lovelo. It's good to see you, Lovelo. It's been a while. It's always good to see you in the chat. Ian McDermott stole the show in Episode 3. Ian McDermott could read the phone book and steal the show. Okay, this man is incredible. I love that man. Palpatine is one of my favorite Star Wars characters,
and somehow he returned all that time later.
All that time.
I remember watching Rise of Skywalker, and I knew it was going to happen. I was like, really? This is what we're okay.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. This is actually why I'm advocating for more sequel era content, because I feel like the Clone Wars show improved the prequel era, right? It kind of like 100%. Filled in some blank, right? I feel you could do that with the sequel trilogy, but maybe like, here's the thing though, it can do that. It can fix the perception of the sequels, but you have to hit a home run, and that's the caveat, right? Like, that's the tough thing, is like for them to go in there and really make something that everyone loves.
It could help them. My issue with the sequel trilogies is simply things of like Luke taking the actions he took against Kylo. So I'm like, okay, so in this world, he didn't take out Space Hitler, who was his dad, because he still saw good in him, but his nephew has a bad dream or a vision, and you're going to kill him in his sleep. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, really? That doesn't work. Like, it seems like the characters, there's no continuity there. Like, it's just a separate realm where all these things happen.
And also, real quick, has there ever been a spinoff quite like the Clone Wars, because of how for one, how awesome it was, but it filled in a lot of blanks of like that time gap that was there.
Yeah,
like I don't think anyone and no other spinoff has ever been beneficial like the Clone Wars were. Am I wrong by saying that?
I don't think. I mean, I can't think of anything on top of my head that would have done that. I mean, George is involved in the Clone Wars too, so that definitely helped it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Alyssa here says that we use "it's a trap" all the time. It's a trap. It's a trap. I love it.
I also love the one with Anakin where he's like, I want more. That's
man,
my favorite one.
Fuck. Now looking back at his dialogue, it was kind of rough.
Oh, dude, it was,
Yeah.
there were
They
some
did-
rough lines. Yeah,
They did my
seems
boy
like
dirty.
Hayden seems like a cool dude though. Like he's like, I don't think he's acting anymore, but he seems very like chill, low key. Just like I've seen him at some of the. I think it was Star Wars Theory. I actually met him at a convention and got to talk to him and stuff like that. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he seems like a really good dude, man. Really good dude. I actually, what was I gonna say? Okay, unpopular opinion, and a lot of people are probably gonna disagree with me. I actually liked the premise of the Reylo thing. I just don't think it was handled great. But this idea, Reylo, Rey and Kylo, kind of having this romantic.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't mind that. I actually thought there was a lot of potential there. I didn't like necessarily the execution so much, but I think there was potential there. And one of my biggest criticisms, actually, also with the sequel trilogy, is I think Rey should have gone full Palpatine at the end. I wanted her to just go embrace it, right? Just become.
I thought they should have switched that where Kylo, because at the end of that movie, by the way, I was rooting for Kylo. So I'm rooting for the guy that killed Han Solo. And that would have been an interesting twist. But I actually thought in a really comedic level, it'd have been really funny if they they kiss and they get together and then they come away and she's like, hey, Chewie, listen, he's different now. And Chewie's just like oh, hold on. Okay. Just trying to explain how Kylo is a good guy now. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
Bro, when you first brought that up, how they should have switched a freaking TNT bomb went off in my mind. I was like, holy shit. If that were to happen, that would have been mind-boggling at the time.
Dude, that would have been
awesome.
It
would have been way better.
They weren't going to do it because they were not going to make Rey the bad guy.
Exactly.
I know.
Well, apparently they're fucking making 3 more movies for her character now. So it's like, and we don't even know when those are going to ever be filmed.
Do you think those will get made? I actually don't think those are going to get made.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Unless, I mean, the only thing is I would say she's under contract maybe, and they have to be filmed, but pay her off of her contract and just let these films go. They weren't interesting to me. They weren't something that, and it's not even their acting, the storyline. It was just, yeah, it was cool to watch, I guess, but it wasn't interesting.
Can you imagine the final shot of Rise of Skywalker is Rey sitting in Palpatine's throne, and they just pan on her, and she's got the red saber, and she's just like a badass. You know, that would be sick.
Well, that would set up. You have Kylo who has to deal with all the things he did, like a redemption story, which is kind of similar to KOTOR. KOTOR has that as well, where you have this redemption arc off of a really bad thing that happened. Like that would have been really interesting. And then like maybe Kylo's whole thing is trying to bring Rey back. I mean, that brings you back. That would have been really interesting sort of story dynamic.
No, 100%. Jay said they did Boyega dirty. What do you guys think about that?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think it would have been interesting for him to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, see, Jay brought up a good point yesterday when we did the live stream was let's get, like, not everyone has to be a fucking Skywalker either. Not everyone has to be a Jedi or use the Force. Like, let's use some storyline here. Let's get some new characters in here and do something with it. I just think they need to go that route because I agree with them. Not everyone needs to be a fucking Skywalker.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Remy D says, I almost called you Ray D. I'm sorry, with Ray right now. Remy D. I was pretty sure Finn was Force sensitive. There was no way he could handle the lightsaber that well. Yeah, I think actually, was it the comics or some sort of ancillary material? I believe he is Force sensitive. I think they confirmed that, right, Jared? In a book or something.
Did. I'm pretty sure the way they did that, because I think that's what J.J. Abrams intended, and then Rian Johnson came in and just did it so different for The Last Jedi, and then I think it got messed up. I think supposedly he was supposed to be Force sensitive, which is the only way that make any sense that he got any shots in on Kylo during that fight.
Right.
Did you know apparently the lightsaber, it's I don't know if the right word is a pendulum, but it's like it doesn't move like you would move this pen. You can't just move it like this. There's like a weight or something that's in it that when you move it to the right, it like leans to the left or some shit like that. Did you guys ever hear that? Or am I just it was something like that. It was like the Force, that's why the Force allows you, or if you're Force sensitive, you're able to control it better because you're able to use the Force while you're using the lightsaber. It was something along the lines of that.
Mjolnir's hammer or something like that, where you have
It was something along the lines of that. I don't know if that was true or not, but I heard that somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lucas created some sort of lore to explain like the technical limitations of because they have to hold it probably a certain way back in the 70s when they did their effects. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lucas went back in there and was like, yeah, you know what? Here's a little canon, a little lore as to why they're like, super or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that. Lucas here says the Stormtrooper becoming a Jedi would have been an awesome banger plot device. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I really thought that's where it was. I thought that's where it was going to go. Like honestly, after the Force Awakens, I was like, "That's interesting." Having a stormtrooper that has Force sensitive and knows, all that stuff. I thought that'd have been really good.
Oh yeah, gentlemen, fantastic conversation as always. I love you guys. Tomes, Jared in the house. I'll be linking both of these gentlemen's channels down below. Also, Jay Shear's short film and his YouTube channel will also be down below. Tones, I want to thank you for joining so much today, brother. Talking shop. We talked Netflix, Star Wars, all that good stuff. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Always a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for coming on, and like I said, we could talk for hours and just have a good time. So, but thank you again for coming on, guys. You guys can find me at Tones_TV on literally everything. YouTube and TikTok is mostly where I'm at. We post a lot of clips. We do a lot of lives on TikTok, so make sure you guys go check it out. We are doing a lot of Stranger Things for the next month. About month. Then we're going to be moving on to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a Game of Thrones spinoff, and then we're going to go to House of the Dragon season 3. We do a lot of huge TV shows and deep dive into episodes and theories and lore of the show. So make sure you guys go check it out. We're going to be having a lot of fun here in the next couple months for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to give a big shout to Tones, your audience. Great folks in the chat today. Really fun times. Big shout to Tones TV audience out there. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Jared, Capture the Magic. Always good to have you on, brother. We did a great video earlier about the theme park rights with this Warner Brothers stuff, which it's up right now, right? I believe.
Yes. Yeah. That went up about 2 hours ago, maybe an hour and a half ago, something like that. So yeah, that's a good conversation because that's an interesting wrinkle to all this Netflix Warner Brothers stuff. But no, I'm glad I could make it. Sorry I was hopped on a little late, but always a good time hanging out with you guys. And I'm going to catch up on Stranger Things so I can talk. I really want to talk to you and Jay about Stranger Things because I have so many questions. Yeah, I'm very interested in how it's going to go. But you can find me at Cap the Magic everywhere. Here on YouTube. And if you're looking for Orlando theme park content, you can go to CTM Podcast with my wife and I. We have a podcast there. You can check that out. And Jay, thank you. Shout out to the shirts. Yeah, we have some shirts. You can go check.
Well, there it is. There they are. And Jared, I think you have a special deal going on right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, cteamapparelcode.com. If you use promo code Black Friday, you get 25% off through the end of the month. So it's Black Friday for the entire month of December. And so with our shirts, we don't use third-party printers, so we actually print everything in-house. I was printing shirts today and yesterday. I've been very busy with that. So they're very high quality, very comfortable shirts, and they'll last you for a long time. And you can get a good deal on it right now. So cteamapparelcode.com, promo code Black Friday.
There it is. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank these two fine gentlemen. Thank you for watching OG55. Thank you for watching Tones TV. And also make sure you check out Capture the Magic. Go ahead, Tones.
Yes, sir. No, I was going to say, by the way, chat, for those who are in my chat, make sure you guys go show these gentlemen some love, please. Orange Girl 55, Capture the Magic. Go give them a follow. They do amazing work with all Disney stuff and, studio side as well, as you guys could tell. So make sure you guys go show love to them as well, please.
Thank you, Tones. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Everybody, have a great evening. And until the next time, see you.
Thank you so much for watching OG55. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and become a member today.